Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Overflow. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and my God, my internet sucks now.
Yeah, my health sucks, which is kind of bad too.
Mm.
I've been sick again. It just seems like
Being
I
sick
can't.
sucks.
Yeah, well, it's the blood pressure issues on top of anxiety problems. Like this morning, I almost had to go to the ER because I came out of bed, got ready for work, and then just as I was getting ready to step out my door, my heart felt like it was going to explode.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it calmed down after about an hour and a half. But yeah, I called them, texted my boss and said, "Look, I'm still having problems. I'm going to have to figure something out to kind of calm myself down because I don't know what's causing this." So he's like, the company lets you take time, so take time. So I did. But I'm going to have to go back in tomorrow because I need money. So, but also because I need money, if folks want me to review more stuff, as you've noticed, I'm actually getting this out a lot faster than I used to. So, yeah, I'm working constantly on it, mostly because most of the comics that I'm doing next year are already written. So that's, so I'm actually ahead, which is good. Speaking of which, though, before we get into this, I actually played another few hours of Death Stranding. And I'm surprised by how good it is.
Really?
Yeah. Because one thing I'll freely admit, there are points where it does kind of feel like a walking simulator. And then it just kind of throws that curveball of, oh yeah, the world is fucked because of these supernatural forces. And they are out to get you if you're not careful. And you just sit there and go, oh, shit. Now what do I do? And it literally
is it Metal Gear
changes.
Solid 5?
No, there's barely any combat in it.
Interesting.
That's what I like about it. Is that the one item that you get that is effective at harming these BTs uses your own blood. So you have to be choosy about when you use it. And so in the overworld, I just don't. And the boss fight that I've gone through so far was basically just me running the fuck away from it and hawking grenades at it whenever I could get a clear shot. Like, there's a lot of tension in it that I'm really liking. It has that sort of element to it, and it brings your heart rate up so much that whenever you do get those walking segments, you're kind of feeling blessed for the minute you get to relax, you know? So, yeah, I'm digging it so far. I have a feeling that it's going to be a divisive game just because it's not your typical action fest, but it's very well put together. And that's one thing I'm really enjoying about it. It's just an intriguing video game, but it's definitely kind of one of those artsy games that if you are expecting kind of the normal action fare like Kojima kind of does, you're not going to find it here. I have a feeling that a lot of the stuff that he integrated in this, he wanted to do in Silent Hills, and he just created a whole new universe for it. Because there's definitely some similarities, like in the broad strokes. It makes me wish that Konami wasn't just sitting on the Silent Hill franchise when they have no plans to use it.
Yeah, seriously. Silent Hills could have been so fucking good.
I know. I would almost rather they offered that to Sony to purchase, but they're just gonna squat
Seriously.
on it. Yeah,
they really should. I mean, like a Silent Hill game with Kojima, Norman Reedus, and motherfucking Guillermo del Toro. Like, that was a license to print money.
Yeah,
even for people
huge.
who don't fucking like or they're not into Silent Hill, they would still buy that.
Oh yeah, the hype was incredible. Not to mention PT is probably the most famous demo that's ever been created.
I still got it on my PS4.
Yep.
Never deleted it.
Nor should you, because that actually increases the value of the console.
Ironically enough, 20th anniversary limited edition PS4 plus PT on it. That thing is probably worth gangbusters.
Oh yeah,
or at least a few $100s.
Oh, definitely. I think you could probably trade it in for a PS Pro for somebody who has one. So, and the Pro is really good. I love that console.
Well, I'm not gonna get rid of it just because it's a 20th anniversary one, and yeah. No, I will sit on it. I don't care.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into the questions. As always, Hatman, I'll let you choose politics or entertainment.
Let's start with politics so we can get to the fun stuff in the end.
Okay. Autist Whisperer writes, opinion on a study that highlights online conservatism is de-radicalizing people from the alt-right. Not surprised. We've had people that have emailed us that were on that radical segment saying, yeah, we walked away from it because of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end of the day, and this is one reason that I don't really stress about the alt-right that much. We'll do, like, whenever they kind of try to, pipe up, we'll do a video on them, or at least discuss them briefly. But right. I found that their arguments are rather easy to debunk. There's a reason that they're not accepted in polite society, and they've largely been exposed in a lot of ways. And the instant that you can, move or point to what they are and the lies that they're currently telling, and you can poke the holes in them, people notice. This whole Fuentes thing, you and I knew, Hatman, like from the get-go, it's just the alt-right with a different flavor. Mm-hmm. And then we it took one search on 4chan to find out, yeah, it's the alt-right in a different flavor.
Yep.
Same shit, same tactics. Or the only thing is they think that with Nick Fuentes they have a more palatable figurehead than Richard Spencer. No, they really don't. That, he comes out and denies the Holocaust. Like, how's that palatable? Mm-hmm. And it's not like he deleted the vid. Not to mention, like, the rant that he made about Matt Walsh, and then the him defending the El Paso. Was it the El Paso shooter, or was the other one that was an alt-righter? I can't remember.
I don't remember which one. I don't remember.
They're all fuck faces.
The fuck faces.
He defended a fuck face. That's really all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're defending a murderer and you're denying the Holocaust and you're trying to say that Jews run the world. Like, these are not the statements of a sensible person.
No, I mean his entire political argument is that conservatives need to be basically obsessed with ethno-nationalism, because that's how you preserve the values of your country, because they're tied to race and ethnicity.
Despite the fact that the United States was not built on an ethnicity.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, fucking anyone can become an American.
Yeah. Now, whites have been the majority, but that's inconsequential.
Yeah, I mean this nonsense about if whites are no longer the majority in America, America will lose its identity. Like, fuck that shit. Honestly, fuck that shit. That's ridiculous. We have always, and this has nothing to do with like illegal immigration either. I mean, that's what boggles my fucking mind, how illegal immigration and then just immigration in general get conflated together as we just need to stop bringing people in altogether and just make sure that the whites run everything for everyone. Fucking, this isn't the goddamn 1950s.
Yeah.
What the hell?
These guys are, they're outdated. And the one thing I always tell people is like, they're like, you should debate our ideas. I'm like, your ideas lost in 1945.
Yeah, seriously.
That was the debate on the world stage, was World War II. Your ideas were represented by Adolf Hitler, and he lost. The world rejected what he was doing, because that's inevitably how it always ends. Every single state that, is based purely upon ethnicity always ends up in conflict with someone else, or different people groups within their own system. The only reason that South Africa started to calm down was because Trump threatened them. But it was going to end with a lot of people dead, because it was becoming an ethno-state. That's what they always do. Every single one. You know? I mean, hell, Africa is part of the reason that it's in flux constantly, is because of constant focus on tribes and ethnicities. It's almost as if tribalism leads to war. You know, but they don't. They just want what they want, and they're never going to let go of their own hatreds until they get a wake-up call in real life. But, you know, and this is what usually happens, is people embrace these ideas, these stupid ideas, and they try to say that, oh, nobody else has the answers. Yeah, the answers are there, and you're fully aware of it. You're in a bad place, mentally, spiritually, everything, and you're not fixing it. You're just, putting more hate into your system, and then it's doing nothing for you. You know, it's my whole thing is, like, at the end of the day, it's the same question from American History X. Has any single thing you have ever believed and done made your life better? No. Now, it's made Nick Fuentes' life better because he makes a lot of money off super chats.
Yeah, he does.
This is a hustle, and you know it.
It is.
It's always a hustle.
Yep.
Richard Spencer made some pretty decent money off of a bunch of idiots. You know?
Like CNN, for example.
Exactly. but he did. You know, he made decent money from a lot of idiots when he was the figure in the alt-right. You know, Fuentes is making a lot of money off a lot of idiots. You know, and that's just the way it is. It's always a hustle. It's always about money. You know? And if you don't wake up to it now, you're going to wake up to it later, and you're going to be a lot poorer because of it. So, but yeah, doesn't surprise me. But conservatism, I think, has the strongest arguments. The current sort of conservatism, libertarianism sort of mixed together, I think, which is where I sit. You know, I think has the best arguments. It's basically, yeah, traditional values have a place, and they're very beneficial for several reasons. You know, they follow how people are, but freedom is necessary for the flow of ideas and the flow of things to continue to progress. You know, that's the libertarian angle, is the freedom element. You know, because there is obviously a place for social conservatism. You know, I'm for traditional values. Absolutely. I think that they are superior in a lot of ways. You know, I think that the people who follow these things, and this is just speaking from my own experience and statistics I've read, is that they're so much happier than people who are living these alternative lifestyles. You know, they're considerably happier. There's less abuse rates. There's, you know, everything is so much better. You know, one thing that I thought was a really salient point that Milo had made ages ago was the fact that, you know, there's more abuse cases in LGBT homes than there are straight homes. You know? So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. I think we've made our point there.
I think we have.
Kale Bach writes, if America conquered the world, what would be the first order of business? I don't think we ever would.
Canada becomes a theme park.
Mm.
Tim Hortons land.
Yeah. Let the maple syrup flow.
Apparently Tim Hortons has kind of gone down the shitter, though, I'm told.
Really? That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Because apparently the parent company behind Burger King bought it out, and now it's kind of gone to shit.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It is. I haven't had it since they got bought out, so I wouldn't know. But
yeah,
I'm told by my Canadian compatriots, or not really compatriots, but whatever. Yeah, that it's not that great anymore.
Yep. Ultimate Agent wants to know thoughts on Jeb Bush memes. Oh, I love Jeb Bush memes.
They're funny.
They're awesome. Funny. Fucking guac merchant.
Jeb exclamation point.
Oh yeah, he is such a great meme. Please clap.
Please clap. Please clap was great.
Yeah, we'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Alpha Incel writes, actually, no, hold on. There's another one tied to the alt-right thing. Leonardo Juan asks, do you think alt-right people like James Alsop could beat AOC in a debate when it comes to immigration? No.
Nah.
I don't think that they could. I think that it would just be a lot of yelling at each other. And there would be no ideas that would be exchanged. You know, it would honestly be kind of a shit show, and I'd watch all of it.
Yeah.
Because AOC's just going to keep calling him a racist, and rightly so, because he is. And he's going to keep calling her a communist, rightly so, because she is. And it's just going to be a name-calling, mud-flinging shit show, and yeah, I'd watch it and I'd donate to see it. The only difference is that at the end of the debate, to get them to really loud, you have to introduce a big photograph of Ben Shapiro's head. Then they would scream for their fucking lives. Say the one thing I've always found funny about James Alsop is that he has never gotten over getting trounced by Michael Knowles after the Unite the Right rally. Because Knowles had him on, and Alsop shows up. He's in the stereotypical alt-right haircut, the one that the overcut that they had all cut beforehand, and tries to lie and say that he has no relationship with Richard Spencer at all, and which is not true. Obviously, everybody knows that he and Fuentes had a relationship with Spencer. They probably still do, and he's like, well, what about this live stream you appeared with him on? And what about this? Why did you re-host one of his speeches completely unedited and without commentary on your channel? He had him dead to rights. Fuentes, I'm sorry, Alsop had no argument. He's like, whoa, I just thought no. So he's never gotten over that. You know, he's still embarrassed by it. You just bring it up to him and he'll block you on Twitter. When he had a Twitter, he would block you on Twitter if you brought it up to him. So, because one thing I actually told him was, you couldn't beat Michael Knowles in a debate. Why do you want to debate Ben Shapiro?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might want to work your way up the ladder there, chum. So, but yeah, that's how I think that would probably go. All right, now, Alpha Incel writes, thoughts on China implementing curfew, time limits, and spending caps for minors in gaming. Fuck them. Agree, disagree?
China implementing curfew time limit. Yeah. Fuck them. And also, haha, Blizzard, you done fucked yourself, didn't you?
Yep. All right. Thoughts on... Daniel Parker wants to know, thoughts on the NCAA allowing college athletes to profit off their name and image? About damn time.
Yeah. I am of the opinion that the argument that they, being given a free ride through college is enough is bullshit. Especially when you have so many one-and-done players nowadays. Especially when it comes to fucking basketball. Especially when it comes to fucking Duke. Of course, being a Duke fan, I kind of pay attention to that shit. They're basically just there to get their name out and hopefully sign with a big league team. But in the meantime, they're not getting fucking paid for really the job that they're doing. Like, let's be real. They're not going to college to get a degree. Like, most college athletes are not there to get their degree. It's tryouts for the pros. And in the meantime, I think they deserve to get fucking paid, especially when these sports dynasties really are making a fucking killing off of them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, names on jerseys and everything, they deserve a cut of that.
Absolutely.
Like, in any other profession, you would get royalties for that. But not in college sports until now. And I absolutely fucking agree. I think it's long past overdue. And that's part of the reason why EA wouldn't do college sports games anymore. Because there was the issue of athletes having to sell their likenesses. Colleges wouldn't let them do it.
Yep. All right. From there, last politics question, Will Geary wants to know, where do the alt-right even get their definition of whiteness when Europeans is always identified with their own ethnic group rather than being so-called white? Well, that's one of the points we've been making for years.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell the Scots and the Irish and the English that they're all the same people.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell you to fuck off.
Yep.
There's always been conflict between them. Like, why do you think that the Scots and the Irish, or the Northern Irish, voted to remain in the EU, and it was the English who said we want out? Like they're very different people of very different thought groups. On top of that, the Polish and the Germans, you know, and or any Slavic peoples, like there's still arguments in the alt-right of whether or not the Slavs are white. You know? So there's that. And the Greeks, are the Greeks white? Are the Scandinavians white? And here's the thing, there was a Supreme Court case because those old immigration, you know, laws were stupid and poorly written. There was a Supreme Court case on what the definition of whiteness was and whether or not Scandinavians were included. Now, here's the reason that they had put that in, is at the time, white specifically meant people from the United Kingdom, from that area, France, and our other allied nations at the time in Europe. That's what their definition was. But as time went on, because more and more different people from different nations would immigrate here, from Russia, from Switzerland, from all these different nations, the definition was much harder to put together. And the next thing you know, they had to have a Supreme Court case just to define it so that people could actually have citizenship. So that's the thing. Their definition of white is anybody who's pale. But again, it only really applies here in the United States because there is an American culture. And our culture is very different from that of all these other nations. So it's silly, and it doesn't make that much sense. You know, I don't have that much culturally in common with somebody from India. I also don't have that much culturally in common with a Swiss person, or with a Norwegian, or anything along those lines, or a Swede. There's a lot of things that we have different. So, yeah, basically it's, you know, it's the same old nonsense racism from the old days. It's not really based on anything that matters. Character is what matters. They just can't stand the fact that there are people out there that exist that look different from them.
Yeah, that's basically the long and short of it.
Yeah, one of our fans, Tom the Fish, I remember put in one of our videos. I think it might have been the last Overflow. He said the alt-right basically blames 2% of the citizenship of the United States for 99% of the problems. That's ridiculous. There are issues at play that go much deeper than any skin color. And anybody of any sort of modicum of intelligence could tell that. But that speaks for their lack of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to the fun stuff. The entertainment.
I like fun stuff.
Me too. Koopa's Revenge Home writes, how would you do a crossover between Superman and the Fantastic Four with Lex and Doom as the villains? That's a good question. I've always felt that crossovers are kind of hard to make compelling. I can't think of one that I've enjoyed, like the intercompany crossovers. Because there was a lot of them in the 90s. Silver Surfer Green Lantern was one. There was another Silver Surfer one where Galactus gets hit with the Omega beams and just barely drops to a knee, showing how much more powerful he is than Darkseid. Then again, Darkseid sucks. But who else is?
But yeah, Batman Captain America crossover, wasn't there?
Batman Captain America had a funny moment in where the Joker realizes that the Red Skull is actually a Nazi. And he's like, I might be a psychopath, but I'm still a fucking American. Like, this is ridiculous. But that one was a little too tongue-in-cheek for me. The Batman Punisher one was actually pretty good. That was Asbats and Frank Castle. And there is a point where Frank has the Joker pinned in the alleyway, and Joker stops laughing. And he goes, oh God, you're really going to kill me, aren't you? I always thought that was one of the most potent things about Frank Castle. It's like if he existed in DC's universe, Gotham City would be a war zone. So anyway, how I would write it. Oh God, that would be tough to make compelling, because first I have to have a reason for the Fantastic Four being there. Second, I have to have a reason for Lex Luthor and Victor Von Doom wanting to work together because of how colossal their fucking egos are. Which I don't think I would use Lex. I would rather have Doom do the dimension hopping and use Intergang or something like that, you know? Or, the reason I don't like that with Doom is solely focused on Latveria. And oftentimes, whenever his issues come across, it's a vendetta against Reed. And as time has gone on, that vendetta has changed. So, I got nothing. Honestly, I have nothing on how I would do it. I don't think that it's, like, the Fantastic Four and Superman is not really that great of a crossover, you know? If I was going to do, like, a Fantastic Four crossover with DC, I'd do, like, Doom Patrol or something. Or use the full-on Justice League.
I don't know if I go as far as a Justice League. You might could do, like, some of the Green Lantern Corps.
That would be an interesting one. I don't know. I have no answer for this one, to be honest with you. There's another question that's kind of similar to that. Where'd it go? How would I write the end of Reed Richards from Ultimate Edition? Everybody wants me to kill off these characters.
Everybody wants you to write the end of characters.
Yeah, it's so the end of Reed, he dies of old age surrounded by his loving family. Why would I want the kind of the first father of Marvel to ever have any different end? You know, that's what I see happening to him, is that he goes down as the greatest scientist in that universe's history, as a man who loved his family and did what he could for them, and you know, had 2 great kids, and yeah, he would probably have the most storybook ending, I think, of any Marvel character of all time.
There you go.
All right. Kale Bach wants to know, how much better would humanity be in Halo if it was the United States Space Command instead of the UNSC, and America was in charge of the war of defense against the Coveys? This is more for you than me, because I'm really not sure how to answer that. I don't know.
So basically, it would mean that the world was not united under one government, or that America conquered the world. Like, the whole point behind the UNSC is that it is a united government that is able to work in sort of an interplanetary thing. Like, as you have off-world colonies, you have to have some form of central government, and that's sort of the role that the UNSC takes. But of course, you know, there's riots and rebellions against them as well, because the UNSC is basically a dictatorship. Let's be fucking real. Oni is shady as shit. But as far as how would it fare if America? I mean, it's basically just saying, like, replace American ideals with that of the UNSC. Honestly, I don't think it'd be that much different, because you would still have to have, like, one world government. It'd basically just be American values 500 years in the future, as opposed to, like, UN values.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't really see it going any differently as far as warfare goes, because they kind of intersected. Because before the Covenant landed, the UNSC, and Oni specifically, was developing the Spartan program to put down rebellions. sort of going authoritarian in that regard. I don't know if future America would go down that path. It's possible, but if that were the case and they didn't, we wouldn't have the Spartan 2 program, or really any iteration of the Spartan program, and therefore we would probably have gotten fucked by the Covenant, because the Halo lore makes it very clear that the Spartans were instrumental in humanity surviving. Without the Spartans, we would not be here. And if a USSC would not have developed super soldiers at any point, whether to put down interplanetary rebellions or not, then the Covenant would have fucking overrun us. So that's really the kicker. Otherwise, I think it basically go the same way.
There you go. All right. I'm Your Pepper says, I haven't seen any new My Favorite Nightmares since Event Horizon. Any new ones since then? No, I haven't finished it yet. The one for Hellraiser is going to be edited probably sometime this weekend, because I worked with Von Klaus, the writer of Monster MD, on that one.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll be doing that. I have to just edit it, get the audio edited first. I'll probably do that here in the next couple of days, and then I'll put it out there as a premiere. So,
sweet.
Yeah. Autist Whisperer writes, what is the deal with the Puritans on Twitter when it comes to art that has titillation? There's no difference in conservatives from the 90s. Oh, I agree completely.
Where are her organs?
I agree completely. I hate that statement. I hate, those sorts of, like, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't see them saying
hands off of men and shit like that.
I don't see them asking where are their organs to, like, professional mixed martial arts fighters who are women, who are in very good shape.
No,
like, nobody's asking that about Holly Holm. Nobody's asking that about what's her name? Rose Namajunas or girls like that. Like, nobody's asking that fucking question, because it's the same place as any other fucking woman. This idea that that they're drawn that ridiculous is stupid and just not true. I have yet to find a fit drawn character where I'm asking where are her organs. Like, so you're just it's stupid. And then of course you have the super censorious Zoomers too, that are like, and you've got people who play to them like fucking Paul Joseph Watson, that are apparently think giant butts are the reason why freedom is bad or something like that. Go fuck yourself. My thoughts are that they can go fuck themselves, basically. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Yeah.
Sincerely, it is. And a lot of the people that are pulling this shit are Tumblr refugees, I've noticed.
Yeah. Specifically
refugees from Tumblr's art community.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who were pushing this CalArts style, and everyone is very round and looks essentially the exact same. So when proportions are drawn intentionally to look ridiculous, or they're drawn in a way that accentuates certain features but aren't completely unbelievable, they're going to lose their fucking shit, because how dare human beings look either exaggerated or, well, let's just put it at exaggerated. How dare human beings look exaggerated? Meanwhile, what the fuck are they doing, making everyone's head look like a bean?
Yeah, I'm genuinely now convinced that the worst thing that has happened to the arts in general might be Steven Universe.
CalArts style.
Yeah, and again, just to reiterate this, we are fully aware that CalArts is not an actual studio, but it is it's a college, right?
Yes, it is a university, California University of the Arts, Cal Arts.
Yes, and there is a certain style that came out of there that is super simplified and very easy to draw and animate.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody has the same fucking face. We are fully aware that it's not a company. We have never said that it's not a company. Somebody actually did a diatribe on that. We're fully aware of that.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a style, and it sucks.
No, it's a trend. Effectively, that's what it is. It's an art trend, much like the same way cartoon animals were. Anthropomorphic cartoon animals from the fucking the 1930s up to the 1960s.
Yeah.
I mean, that long fucking time, but that was an animation trend. They looked very, very similar, followed a very similar pattern. So, yes, we're aware, but we're going to describe it this way because that's the best way to communicate to people what we're fucking talking about.
It's called shorthand.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on. Thoughts on Congressman Lou Correa accusing WoW of racism?
What the
fuck? People call me a boomer.
Accusing WoW of racism. Like,
oh my god.
Did he fucking what did he do? Watch the fucking Mr. T Warcraft commercial just now or something?
These people are crazy to me, man. Absolutely crazy.
Yes, my response is okay, boomer.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Crystal Wing wants to know, again for his Dead Space campaign, some of the undead I want to use as necromorphs as lore, making them difficult. Can I ignore the lore if I use a homebrew world? Well, of course.
Yes.
It kind of answers it. It kind of answers itself. Like if you want to use there's plenty of undead creatures in Dungeons and Dragons. You know, like all you have to do is just look through the monster manual. You'll find plenty.
Use the guidebook is like the skeleton, and then build everything else around that. Like just the basics. Yeah. Use that as your basic template, and then abridge everything else as needed. I mean, you're doing a Dead Space campaign. Of course, you're going to have to take some liberties because that is very different from fucking D&D.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, God help you if you have to figure out how to incorporate unitology as a proper religion in there.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. There's plenty of evil religions that exist within D&D as well. So you're not short for anything. I would just take like 3 or 4 hours, because sometimes building a good D&D campaign takes that long. I would build just off of this idea of or just read through the manuals and find a bunch of undead shit and evil religions. And trust me, you'll be able to piece something together. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
So don't think that you necessarily are going to have to lean on homebrew right out of the gate. It's very rare I've seen people have to. So. Okay, so 2 questions of if we've seen them or not. Forbidden Planet, yes or no? I haven't.
Let me see if this is the Forbidden Planet I'm thinking of. 1956 Forbidden Planet. I've seen parts of it. I have not seen. I've not seen all the way through.
Never seen it.
Yeah, Robbie the Robot. I recognize him. No, I've seen parts of it. I've not seen it all the way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
I know Robbie
with
the Robot when I see him, but anything beyond that, I have no clue.
Yeah, that's me and fucking sci-fi B movies. Like, if anything, I've seen parts of them. I've not seen them all the way through.
Yeah.
Plan 9 from Outer Space and shit. It came from wherever. or It Conquered the World, I think is what it was called. No, I've seen parts of it. I've not seen the whole thing.
Yep. What about Justice League: The New Frontier?
No.
Me neither. Okay. Next question. Leonardo Juan asks, why do SJWs attack Japan for their culture when they are the ones who tell us that we shouldn't criticize other cultures? Exactly.
It's not even Western culture, too. That's the best part.
If there were no such thing as double standards, they'd have no standards at all.
Exactly.
Brian Gilmartin asks, which SNK fighting games would you recommend to someone like me who's familiar with Street Fighter but hasn't played any SNK fighters? Okay.
Capcom versus SNK.
Yeah, Capcom versus SNK 2. CVS 2 specifically.
There you go.
If you can, since the Dreamcast version is kind of rare, if you can hunt down the PlayStation 2 version, it's a very good port. One thing I will say is don't do the backwards compatible software download on the PSN. I mean the physical copy of CVS2, because on the PS3 version there's a lot of input delay and there's no fix for it.
Well, that's shitty.
Yeah. So because like I found that like combos I could pull off when I was a kid, I can't pull off anymore. I'm like, shit. So, yeah. That's one, like, it's hard to get your hands on. Let me even see, like, what the... Like, what a physical copy is going to cost. You're looking at $35.
That's not awful.
Yeah, but for a game like that, it's still overpriced. Supposedly the SNK Anniversary Collection like has it on there, but I'm not sure. Let me have a look.
Yeah, better than fucking Super Metroid, which I just found out runs about $60 a cart now.
And no, it doesn't. So, never mind. But so yeah, I can't really like that. If you can get your hands on it, absolutely, because CVS2 is awesome. But if you can't, then I would recommend Real Bout Fatal Fury 1 and 2. Those are the best of the Fatal Fury series. And they're sort of the end of the storyline. Well, Real Bout 2 has no story. It's just a better version of Real Bout 1. Real Bout 1 is the conclusion of the Terry and Geese saga. Garrow Mark of the Wolves is another one. You can get that one on the PSN and Xbox Live Arcade, and they are very good versions because they're basically direct ports of the Dreamcast version. One thing I will say though, Rock Howard is the poster boy of Garrow, Mark of the Wolves. He's the worst character, which sucks because he's so fun to play, but like he just gets beat out by everybody else and everything. Terry Bogard, on the other hand, is fucking overpowered. So, the Buster Wolf was introduced in that game, and it's one of the most ridiculous super moves that was ever introduced in that series. Then, of course, you've got the KOF games. I would, probably 94 is really good, 96 is really good. And then 2000 and 2002 are really good. And
95 and 2002 would be my recommendations.
And then you've got 13 and 14 as well. 14 is actually better than 13 in regards of gameplay. 13 is better than 14 in regards of visual fidelity. But 14 has a better roster. Because it's got Geese in it. It's got all like a ton of Fatal Fury characters. It's got a ton of Art of Fighting characters. It's got just about everybody that's ever been a big name, character in the KOFs, in the past. Plus, you even get like Nakaruru from Samurai Showdown and stuff like that. So those would be my recommendations. Well, heck, Samurai Showdown as well, the most recent one. And then Hank Hill wants to know, does the number 111 being associated with angels come from the Bible? Reason I ask is my favorite metal band, Freedom, have a song called 111 Number the Angels. I never heard of it.
Neither have I.
Yep. Let's see here. What feature in folklore would you be and why? As for a new button, how would a kaiju button be? Tier 1 fuck'em, Tier 2 kaiju, Tier 3 exterminatus. I don't know about new buttons for now, but creature in folklore. I'm actually not sure on that one. Hatman, I'm gonna let you answer. I'm gonna go kill a bug real quick.
This is a good fucking question. Because there's a lot of... I'm assuming that folklore creatures would also basically be cryptids. So now I'm just wondering, like, if I would want to pull a Tenacious D and be and be a Sasquatch. Yeah, I think that would probably be my fucking answer. That's what I would do. I would pull a Tenacious D and become a Sasquatch.
I think I'd be a Chupa thingy. I think I'd be alright with that.
Chupacabra, the thing that no one is entirely sure what the fuck it looks like. Between a dog and a goblin-looking fucking thing.
Hey, Griff, how about a Chupa thingy?
Why be that when you could be a puma?
Well, that's not like a fictional character or creature in folklore.
I mean, it's not real, so it has to be a folklore creature.
Goodness. Well, that is the last question that we had for this week.
Wow, these went like pretty quick.
Yeah, a lot of pretty easy questions, I would think.
Surprised for about 20 fucking questions.
Yep. Well, I think I'm going to spend the rest of my evening trying to not die. I think it's a pretty good pursuit. And then we, of course, will resume the podcast this weekend. Likely talking more about impeachment crap.
Oh, boy.
But hopefully some fun entertainment stuff. So.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about Chink, aren't we?
What did he do now?
He's going to run for Congress.
Where? In New York?
No, you remember Katie Hill? He's running for her seat.
You're kidding me. He might get it. That's what's surprising.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I hope his campaign song is Buffalo Soldier.
I was about to say, the real question is, I mean, he's a socialist, so they always promise free shit. So is his campaign going to be everyone gets a water buffalo? It's the things that people want to know.
Oh, the memes will be everlasting.
Oh, yes. Yes, they will. Alrighty, folks, we are going to go ahead and take off. We do appreciate you guys watching. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, whatever. And yeah, we appreciate you, to say the least. And, of course, if there's anything else you want us to review, let us know. PayPal links in the description, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, my name is Micah Curtis.
I'm Alex Baldwin. My internet still sucks.
Yes, it does. We'll see you guys next time. Davis Vault.
Davis Vault.